Welcome to Unconquerable Minds. I'm Daryl Walker.
I'm Jason Tracy, and we're here with our amazing co-speaker with Success in Motion Seminars, Nicole Blackmon, and talking today about inspiration, about Success in Motion Seminar, about the exciting things we have coming up for all of our people, all of our followers. So, Nicole, welcome to our show.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Good to have you.
Thank you. It's good to be here among such greatness.
You know, I remember when we met Nicole, Jason and I was, and I think we talked about this in our first episode. We were at a seminar. I think we were talking about being in the present moment, or being present in the moment, and we interacted because the speaker had us do an exercise that made us interact. And we met at that event, and there was a young lady. I was looking to find a speaking coach, and I was referred to Nicole, and so our relationship kind of grew there. And then Nicole asked us to speak at her Success in Motion event, and here we are.
Amazing. So, Nicole, what were some of the motivations? What's some of the vision that you had starting the Success in Motion seminar?
So with Success in Motion, they actually started out with conference calls.
Okay.
And my saying is, we have discussions that we have discussions that inspire, empower, and promote to catapult people to the next level in their lives. So that's how it all got started. Anyway, and the vision that I saw for it is to have people, to be able to transform people's lives, to help to catapult them to the next level in their lives, to help them go through the different things that they experience in their lives, the different tragedies, traumas, adversities, being stuck in a position, that they can't seem to get out of, and just teaching them how to renew their minds, and how just because you're in a situation and it seems so terrible to you at the moment does not mean that you cannot overcome.
How long have you been doing the seminars?
I started my first conference or seminar March of 2018. The conference call started in July of 2017.
Okay. Very good.
Yes, and they were very successful.
Success in Motion.
Exactly.
How could they not be successful?
You're right. So I would have, I just started inviting people to, join the conference call. It started out at first with having entrepreneurs or professionals, and having everyone to share their ideas of how they've gotten to the success that they're in at that moment. But then I had other people who were not business owners and not professionals who were like, hey, I like what you all are talking about. I would like to be a part of this. And so then they started joining in on the calls too. And from it became a success, actually. And so from the conference calls, that's how I started having the seminars.
Isn't it awesome to see how things just kind of unfold over time? And some of my best trainings and seminars and things that I've done have just been started from a simple idea and just kind of unfolded.
That's right. And, I mentioned before how, I have so many ideas.
Of course.
Yeah. But I attended a Get Motivated seminar last April. I think it was April 11th, 2018.
Yep, I was there.
And it was just, oh my gosh. I was like, oh, okay, get motivated, And I'm like, well, I already have Success in Motion, and that was similar to the concept that I want to have, And, again, whatever I put my mind to, if I think it's something that's going to be great, then I just kind of go. And I have not stopped since, And I have people telling me, Nicole, you cannot stop, I have people who, they listen to the conference calls from 2017, even still now, and they'll come up to me and they'll say, Nicole, oh my gosh, I went back, through the archives, and it resonated to me and it ministered to me even now from 2 years ago,
Wow.
And it's like, okay, when you have something so good, you cannot stop. You cannot stop.
Well, I'm honored to be a part of it. It's been an exciting process so far.
I'm glad you said
really
yes.
excited to be on the stage. So I'm excited. great gratitude for Daryl for connecting us all.
Yes, absolutely.
It's pretty incredible, even going back to that episode of thinking about how just the little connections of people you meet in life, you have no idea where it goes.
And that's true. And Daryl, he kept telling me, well, there's this guy I'd like you to meet, Nicole. And I'm like, okay. And so, but we couldn't get the timing. And so then when we finally did meet, I'm like, this is the connection. This is the moment right here, right now.
Yeah.
And it's literally going to catapult to the next level, And so, Daryl, I thank you for even thinking about me to even introduce me to such an awesome guy with Roar Consulting.
And I appreciate that. And, I have to defer to my two children, Michaela and DJ, and that's the reason I was at the seminar. That's the reason. They're the reason I met Jason. They're the reason I met you. They're the reason that this group came together. So I appreciate my kids, Michaela and DJ, for bringing this together. And even though they're not here anymore, they continue to be a big part of shaping my life and the things that I'm working on. So everything I do is to honor them, and I feel like they united this group here. So
They absolutely did. Your purpose is so cool because, again, when we talked about how your kids are pulling you and you're leaving that legacy, you're building a legacy, and there are going to be so many people that have never met your kids and will never meet your kids that are going to be so greatly impacted by your kids. Just even, again, our friendship and us coming together, the people who will be impacted by the Success in Motion seminar. But I watch your videos and see your kids. It's just one of those things, like their memory is living on because of you.
And I don't know how many people know this, but speaking in public is one of my biggest fears. That and claustrophobia. Those are my two biggest fears. And what do you do when your greatest fear sits in back of your greatest opportunity? And for me, my goal was to honor my kids, and I wanted to find ways to honor my kids. And I realized in speaking and having my voice heard, every time my voice is heard, I'm bringing life to my kids. So that's why I put my heart and soul into this, and that's why I'll continue to. And I thank you for inviting me to do the event.
Absolutely.
So we got to share this. We talked about this before we got on camera, but I tell the audience about your first conversation with Nicole, because I thought this was really cool. And again, it's a testament to tackling your fears and your weaknesses.
And I got your number, and I say, Nicole, I was referred to you by this young lady, and I need help with my speaking. And you said, well, okay, what do you need help with? I said, well, I don't know how to write a speech. I don't know how to tell my story. I talk in a monotone. I'm a bad communicator. Public speaking is my biggest fear. All I heard on the other end was, and then I said, oh, and I'm going to be the top motivational speaker in the world.
You sure did.
I love it.
Wait, and when we got off the phone, I was like, Lord, what am I going to do? Because then you shared the other part of your life story also. And I think that part was what really, really got me. And I was like, oh my gosh, because to me, this was a very delicate situation, to me, because I'm thinking of you as your total you, And I'm like, oh my gosh, that was like a lot,
Well, because these are things. Those are things. The weaknesses and being afraid of talking on camera. Those are all things that people can deal with. There are people that don't play sports because they feel like they're too slow, and these are things.
That's right.
I told you guys a story about my son in basketball and stuff like that before this, and there are things that he has to deal with. His goal being in the NBA will happen. I don't know. I know he's working really hard, and I know that a lot of his weaknesses, not being strong enough, not being fast enough, I know that he's addressing those things and turning them into strengths. So that's what it's all about. We're going to be handed weaknesses and adversities in life, and I can't wait to that. I can't wait. I can't wait to Success in Motion. I can't wait to the seminar. I can't wait to talk to our audience. So
strength doesn't come from what you can do. It comes from overcoming the things you once thought you could.
That's good. That's really good.
Purpose of life too, getting stronger,
That's
constantly
right.
building better people.
Exactly.
We're not perfect, but this is the really cool thing, and we talked about this a little bit ago. We've been through some battles. We've learned how to survive and learned how to thrive even through it.
Oh my gosh, and as you go through different things and get over one hurdle, and then you have you can breathe for a moment and then another one comes, and then, okay, you may not get it initially right then that you just came out of something and you're still, you're still there.
Yeah.
But then maybe, okay, the third or fourth time, you're like, okay, wait a minute, okay, I got stronger from what I just experienced prior to.
Yeah.
So I know that I'm strong. I know that I can overcome this situation even now, And just like when we were speaking about how your car ran out of gas, it was rainy and all that, and as opposed to that, that being your, a moment that could have defined you in a negative way, you defined that moment and turned it into a positive by controlling your attitude, and your mindset, and you know what, I may be being tested in this moment.
Yep.
My attitude and how I respond in the midst of this is going to determine the outcome of the rest of this day or, the week even, But because you made a choice, a conscious choice, not to allow it to overtake you, then you overcame that adversity, if you will.
Yep.
And then the rest of your day, you had, a good day, So that was really
Surviving and thriving in spite of the conditions.
Exactly.
Nicole, can you give our Unconquerable Mind listeners, tell them when the seminar is, where it's going to be, who all is going to be speaking there, and why they should attend?
Absolutely. Hey, everybody. No.
Do your commercial. Give it to us.
So, hey, everybody. Again, this is Nicole Blackmon with Strategic Image Consulting, and I am so excited to present to you and to share with you about this awesome seminar that is taking place on Saturday, May 11th, right here at the Novi Library from 12 p.m. until 3 p.m. It is Success in Motion. And let me tell you, this is going to be great. You have to be in attendance on this day. We have some awesome speakers. We have Jason Tracy of Roar Consulting, who is going to align our beliefs. And then next we have Daryl Walker of Daryl Walker Speaks, who is going to activate the champion within you. And then lastly, we have myself, Nicole Blackmon, and I am going to help us send you to new heights. You definitely want to make sure that you get your tickets and make sure that you bring a guest even. And this is going to totally be life transforming, okay? You want to be in attendance because if you can answer yes to any of the questions that I'm going to ask you, then that's the why you need to be here, okay? So if you've ever experienced any tragedies or any trauma, if you've ever been depressed, if you've ever felt stagnant in a position and you felt like you just couldn't move, like you were in a cage, have you ever felt like you were in a cage even though you were not actually physically in one, but mentally you were caged in? Okay, then you definitely want to make sure that you are in attendance. We have awesome techniques and strategies that we have all put together, and we're going to share those with you because we've all experienced different things in our lives. We are going to be transparent with you. We're not sugarcoating anything. We're going to be raw and get real with you so that we can get to the root of what's on the inside of you that is preventing you from catapulting to the next level in your life. So be here. The tickets are on sale on Eventbrite. The tickets are $49.95. And again, you want to make sure that you are in attendance. If not, I'm sorry. You'll miss out.
Nicole, thanks so much. Thanks so much for coming out here and being on our show. We're
Yes,
super
thank
excited.
you.
Super excited for the seminar on May 11th.
Yes.
So, hey everybody, if you like the show, give us a thumbs up. Also, feel free to comment. We love any kind of questions. If you have any questions for Nicole, shoot them out and we'll get them over to her as well. This is about the time where the subscribe button is coming up on the screen, so go ahead and click that. And there'll also be a couple of our past episodes, so you can check that out as well. So this has been another episode of Unconquerable Minds. I'm Jason Tracy.
I'm Darren Walker. Before we tune out, I just want to say one last thing. We're approaching the month of May, and we're going to be focusing our episodes in the month of May on things that will help people overcome challenges in life. So tune into the show the entire month of May for Mental Health Awareness Month, and we'll be here. So take care. Thank you very much.